Hey everyone, welcome to Tint Wisdom number 88. Today we are doing a roundtable with the leaders from the window film revolution group. These are just four of them. The whole group consists of maybe 10 plus. We could talk about that. And the idea is we're going to be doing a Thursday live stream for the next 4 weeks with different groups of those leaders from the group. So let's get started. Rick, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Rick. um, yeah, I'm just excited to be here, man. I literally just got done tinting and moving some stuff, so I'm still trying to get into the whole we're doing a live video thing right now.
Cool. Well, I'm just taking a second to make sure we sound and look okay. So if anybody can give a little comment there, let us know if everything just sounds and looks perfect. Okay. So moving downward from there, Ralph from Flex Film. Yeah.
Hey everybody, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely perfectly.
Okay, cool.
Cool. And then there's Dave Dellinger.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And
What
Hoss
up,
Evans.
What's going on, guys?
And the idea behind this was to maybe take some time and just kind of have a chat about what is kind of been in the works with WFR, what the new website's about, what's the future looks like. And all in all, it just could be a good way to communicate some of the core values and what's in the works with the members of the group and the industry in general. So who would like to take it away?
I'd say Rick.
Well,
Yeah.
So let's kind of get an idea of where we stand. Give us a general overview of what you had in mind today, what you have in mind, and go from there.
well, it's really a lot, but it's really simple. Ultimately, we just want to bring the entire industry together. I mean, a lot of people have that desire, and I mean, somebody has to do it, and if we don't do it, who is? Who is?
So define bring everybody together. What does that mean?
Well, I've been doing this for 20 years, and up until the last 5 or 6 years, we've never really. I mean, we've had the IWFA, we've had competitions on a yearly basis, but you got to remember the.
What does bring everybody together mean?
Bring window tinters together to improve ourselves and lift the industry up that way. Let's start with us first. That's what it means. Let's start with us first to raise the industry.
So working as a community to improve all aspects of the industry.
Yes, everything from how well you tint, customer relations, everything, marketing, anything that you can think of related to this industry, we want to be a part of it. But not only a part of it, we want to actually, we're the window tinters of the industry. So if anybody knows this industry, great, it's us. So it's always tinters first. We're the reason that everything moves. We're the reason that window film manufacturers sell film. We're the reason there's an IWFA. We're the reason for everything. And ultimately, if it's not us guiding the ship, who is guiding the ship?
Somebody's got to step up.
What's that?
Somebody has to step up, is what you're saying. Cool.
I can say something here if I can. I don't step on anybody's toes here. Can you hear me okay still?
Perfectly.
Okay, cool. Rick and I were talking the other day that, probably from don't quote me on this, probably from the mid 90s, the tent dude was really the way to go if you wanted to dig into the community and kind of see what was going on. Now we've always had some publication. I don't know when that started, from the Window Film magazine. And, again, Rick and I were talking about timing is important, because we started seeing where the forum trend kind of went down and the social media trend began. And so these social media groups are now becoming the bigger voice, or the more popular voice, what's going on in the industry. So, we started WFR over 5 years ago. It's grown to a large number of people. And I guess the way Rick has really been running the group or leading the group has helped it flourish and helped it become one of the top groups, to be in, to kind of keep your ears on the ground and, your eyes in the sky to see what's going on. And I think he's done a really good job. Guys, I'm going to get up for a second and turn the TV off that keeps coming on for some reason. So I'll be right back. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say something to add to Ralph?
Anytime nobody's talking, anybody just starts talking. Nobody has to ask.
Okay, yeah. Ralph was saying it was me leading this. No, it's us. I mean, Rick Tallman can't do but what one man can do, and that's it. I mean,
that's humble of you, but like I think he's saying, pointing to you as a leader, and like not saying you were doing it all on your own. It's just that maybe you were the one leading. Look, you are the one that I tend to speak to most about the group. You seem to be the one leading it. So I don't think there's anything to really like debate or dig deeper into that. Or, I think everybody understands it's a group. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate what you've done with the group is that you've allowed so many different people into like the leadership roles, and you continue to add people, because I think that brings diverse perspectives and points of view, which help represent the group better and like lead the group in a better position. And it feels like you actively look for standout members to just add them in. And I think that's a great move. And I feel, I think that's spot on. Instead of keeping, same minds, same ideas, and getting that, closed off wall. And you always seem very open to anything. So I think that's one of the things that I want to come out during this live stream is, the people that are watching that may be like, yeah, I've heard of this, but I don't understand so-and-so. Like, this is a time to ask that, and a time to best explain the vision, best explain what's been going on and what's been built already, and, just bridge those gaps. So I just want everybody to butt in as you please, whether you're in the comments or, one of us on the live stream, like, whatever you want to get out there, this is the time to get that going.
Unless anybody's got something to say, I got something I can add to that. Let's just get this out in the open. I sell window tint. I own Flex Film, and it would be real tempting to take a group like this, especially when it's doing well in the beginning and growing really fast, to kind of hoard the group. Hey, let's make this a Flex Film group. Let's try to use this for my best interest or my family, because this is what we do. But, Rick being the leader, has helped make this the exact opposite. There are other people in this group that sell window film and sell other products. And the way this group, and the reason this group has done so well, is to have somebody like Rick to be a leader who's really in a neutral position. I mean, he doesn't even buy film from me. Okay. He's my best friend, but I don't put that against him. He's got his own reasons and he does his own thing, but he's really a very neutral person to run a group, and he can, put a lot of people together that I couldn't, because they're not going to come into a group that I'm trying to run, and if I'm trying to compete with them as well. So what's made this group so powerful, and such a good place to be is the fact that we're letting a diversity of people in who are part of this industry, and we're not trying to like hoard the group, not any one person or any one side. We're really trying to bring a lot of people together, like Rick said, and, make this a place to be for anybody that wants to know, what's going on and just have a good place to go to have the best experience in the tent industry. That's what we're doing.
Okay. So let's get into the real specifics, because I feel like we've talked about it as a top level. Hey, we want to unite everybody. We want to bring everybody together, and so on. But let's get into, the specifics to that, not just the theory behind it, but, one of the things that people have been posting about, obviously, is the window film revolution, like certification, and, registering and being part of the site. So there's a new website, windowfilmrevolution.com. Whoever would love to, let's jump into what that website is and what it means. Like, why would somebody sign up? What it means to be a part of that.
We're looking for people that are committed. And when I say committed, listen, we all want to be, the reason WFR exists, The reason why I'm sitting here looking at you four guys, and I wish it was everybody at one time, but the reason we're sitting here is because we want to be part of something bigger than ourselves. We want to make a positive impact in this industry, and we're not afraid to do it. It's the whole membership. Listen, a piece of paper is only worth a piece of paper, right?
Hold on, but I feel like we're going into kind of like rhetoric, like kind of like top level, like theory. Like specifically, you built a website, you sign up to it. What is the concept behind the membership at this current time? What's the long term? That's it. Because again, I don't want to get into why you want to unite the industry. I think we know like there's going to be benefit to working together, but talking about this actual program, I think will give people a better idea of why they want to be a part of it and why they should support it.
Okay. Well, ask me a specific question, because otherwise I'm going to go off into left field with some rhetoric, because there's so much stuff that goes through my mind.
Okay, no, let's bang it out. I can ask some of the questions that I've seen being asked. So one of the questions that's been asked a few different ways is, why would I want a certificate? What does this certificate mean?
Well, some people are not going to want a certificate. Everybody's not going to be committing. I mean, why would you want it? But just like I said, to be part of something bigger than yourself in this specific industry, and to build something greater. Like, listen, how many times have you heard people say, I would love to have, a dental insurance plan, that's somehow through the industry, or health insurance. Health insurance is huge. And it's
that's kind of where we can bang out some topics, is like, what are some initiatives with this group or with this membership, not just what's now, because the way I see it is this is the very beginning of it. Okay. But you've already built a foundation. You have a group that you're moderating and you're growing and you're actively, nurturing that group. Then you have now a website. The website has a dealer locator. It's a place to post articles. It's a foundation. So that's where it's at now. There's a membership. Now, at this point, you're asking for maybe, I don't know, what is it, $5 a month discounted if you sign up for the year ahead. That's a little bit of money to be part of that as a member. And then in my imagination, that money helps drive the next step and the next step. And there's a lot of like short-term initiatives and what you plan to accomplish. And then there's kind of the bigger and longer term initiatives. So, if dental insurance or if health insurance, if those are there, that's what I'm trying to get out of you, is like, let's talk specifics, because saying being part of something bigger feels good, but I don't actually know what that means. I don't know what that looks like. But if
let me put Rick on this track. I know what you're asking. First of all, the money that Rick has asked from people to be part of something bigger went straight not to his pocket, but it went to postage, a T-shirt, a keychain, a piece of paper, and some other things for other people. And there's a website. It's an e-commerce site, and it's in the process of being developed. And there's a lot more going on than just building a website. There's putting together deals. Like, for example, I'm not going to quote anything Rick's doing, but he may put a deal together to get a bunch of smart cards or some items that we all commonly use as tenders, put them on the site. And if you're a member of our group, you're going to get them probably at a very good price.
So you're going to be getting,
and if you're not a member, you won't get them at a discount price.
Discounted price. That's obviously a huge thing, because everybody's buying tint tools, every single person. So if they can save money by being part of that, that's a clear benefit, and also a great use of a community coming together and working towards something that benefits that whole community with a discounted price. So that's
Rick, I don't want to step on your toes here, but I think that Rick was. So I thought Rick was struggling a little bit, because I think he's got a lot going on behind the scenes, and it hadn't put everything together to like come out with a specific answer. And I'm not going to say he's got hard cards in the works. I know he's some specific things he's actually got in the works, but I don't want to sit here and be the one to say it. I'm going to let Rick say it if he wants to, but because he knows what to do. Actually,
listen, you're welcome to say it. Like, listen, anything you're welcome to bring out today. I'm not worried about nobody copying, stealing, or nothing like that. It's just difficult for me to get out. Like, I've talked with Erik on the phone. Ralph, you already know it's difficult for me to always get out what's on my mind, because stuff is going so fast. I mean, there's so many different steps we have to get through. Ultimately, a tint competition. Now, a membership is not a certification. The membership paper is basically something you can tell your customers, listen, this is the next latest, greatest, biggest thing in our industry. I'm a part of it because I care about this industry. I actually put my own money into it. It is ran by other window tinters, which means I have a voice. If you're spending money, even if it's $10, $5, $50, 25, whatever it is, if you're spending money to get in here, that lets me know that you have skin in the game and you have interest in what we're doing. If you're not going to pay $5 or $10, then I can't honestly expect you later on down the road to pay anything for, let's say, dental insurance, health insurance. I mean, if you can't put a little skin in the game to be a part of it now, you can't be expected to put more in it later when it really can't.
That's understood. I just feel like it's important. It's all communication. So like some people don't understand why they would be a part of it. So you're kind of saying, well, if you won't pay for it, I can't expect much of you. But I just feel like ultimately it's an ongoing people trying to understand what it is and the people behind it trying to communicate what it is. And it's a constant learning process. And sometimes some people get it right away and some people have to see it further down the process. So that's why I'm trying to dig. I'm not trying in any way to be annoying with like how I ask the questions, but I'm ultimately I can tell you this. You're asking for $60 a year
50.
And you're what?
50.
If you pay up front, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying if you make payments, like it's America, we're going to make payments we're not going to pay something up front, we're going to make payments. So if you make payments, you're asking for $5 a month. For $5 a month, for $60 a year. What? Go ahead.
No, the $5 option is going to be closed out soon. Everybody's been jumping on the year option. I mean, there's a few people who've got the $5 option, but most people just jump straight to the year. And honestly, it confuses people. So we're probably going to get rid of the $5 option for the monthly.
Okay, so you're asking for $50 or $60 a year to be part of a group of people that have proven success in running a Facebook group and doing a great job with it. And to me, that it's not about saying like, well, why do I need that piece of paper? And what is that certificate? And what if I don't have it, I'm still a great tinter, of course. But I just feel like for $60 or $50 a year, contributing to something that's working towards the industry is a no-brainer. I think it stops there. And then the fact that you're sending out shirts and keychains and discounts on tools and so on, to me, that all makes sense as, it's a really easy transaction to get started, and where it leads, nobody knows, right?
All right. Well, we know where it can lead.
Whose phone's buzzing? Just shut it off.
It's not about what it's not about. Listen, it's not right now. Listen, in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, a lot of people will come to this expecting something in return. Right now, we're not looking for those people. If you're expecting like an immediate return on an investment for $50, it's the return might be the satisfaction that you have. And like I said, once you're on the website, you can literally talk, say whatever you want to. If you have a great idea for where this industry needs to go, listen, we're not the only people with ideas. If you have ideas about what you want to do with this industry, WFR, just like you said, does not have a completely set agenda. The agenda is to get us together. It's not about what Rick says. It's not about what Erik says or Ralph or Dave or Hoss. It's about what all of us say together and how we can have a singular voice representing all of us or the majority of us. So, I mean, there's a gazillion things we can talk about, and we can tackle all of them at some point. We just have to do it one at a time. So I don't get out and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it.
So let me ask you a question from the comments real quick. Marco Kaz asks, and this question goes to anybody who wants to answer it, obviously. What do the certificates represent? So in like 1 or 2 concise sentences, what does that certificate represent? Anybody chime in?
Part of one of the best groups in the industry.
Being part of one of the best groups in the industry.
It was either going to be that or a tattoo. Rick wouldn't let me do a tattoo.
I mean, I still got a whole nother arm left, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell nobody to do that.
Yeah. So I think what I heard you just say before was, it's not so much about a specific plan. It's about getting everybody together and getting those ideas out there and letting that work its way into different ways that will benefit the industry. So it's not about saying, I don't like your plan, Rick, because there is no Rick plan. It's a group plan. So instead of not liking it, you're probably better off being a part of it and contributing to what you want to see and what you do like. Is that about right?
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, I mean, look at the way RCL runs right now. I mean, nobody comes in and says, hey, we got to do this, that, or the other. We come in and say, what do you think? I mean, now sometimes, we agree on stuff and we just naturally know, so we do it. But it's all about, I want the end goal, the end result that you're asking about. I want the public, and not just the public, but people from other industries to see us as professional. I was in a.
So what are some of the ways that getting everybody together? Because I think we all agree that it's not the most professionally viewed. Nobody's like, I hope my son is either a lawyer, a doctor, or a window tinter. So, so what are some of the things that come to mind possibly that you see having a group like this and growing a group like this and uniting everybody will possibly lead to, have that effect?
In one word, family. That's it. We're already family. We're just distant sometimes. But I mean, think about it. I mean, a WFR competition where we all come together. And maybe it's not just a competition. Who knows? Now, you were talking about, I'm talking about my ideas now. Obviously, I want to see a competition in the future. But the most important thing that I want to see, that this is the reason I'm in this, is for a true certification network. Your membership says you're a part of the team. You're going to help contribute, whether that be financially, whether it be you opening your mouth and say, I see something that needs to be changed, altered, fixed. But going back to the certification, we need an actual competency certification. I mean, listen, when you're in school, you take tests and you get a score. When you go to a competition, you get a score, or you're supposed to. I mean, what is your score? What is your score this year? When I go to McDonald's, when you go to McDonald's, you look on the window. It's got a A, B, C, D, or whatever. And like, how did they score on their cleanliness and stuff? Well, imagine if we had the best window tinters on the planet certifying our other window tinters and saying, hey, this is how good this person is. Out of 100, he scored a 98. I'd say it's pretty safe to use that.
I agree with you, and I think that would fill a lot of people's, a lot of void. Like, people would enjoy that, knowing that, hey, they have kind of this certification that can set them apart from a shop that they may be deemed not as good at them and so on. But I think some of the confusion comes in where, yes, I don't know anybody who would say, no, I don't like the idea of a certification. I think what kind of the remarks are, the confusion is, how is somebody paying $50 or $60? They're getting a certificate. There was no vetting of the person. That's not a certificate. So I think the resistance is, well, that doesn't mean anything then. And we kind of already touched on this, but something I wanted to bring out, because I feel like it should be talked about, is because I don't want people to not be a part of this because of this sort of thought, is there was a post where somebody referred to it as a participation trophy. Okay. Now, the thing is, I don't know that that's such an unfair statement. It is a participation trophy. It's a participation trophy for participating in the largest and, the best group on Facebook. It's a participation trophy of saying, I'm going to be, like you said, I'm going to contribute either financially or with, helping out or by spreading the word or whatever it is. It is a participation trophy. I don't think there was really any harm in that. But I know it wasn't meant well. The intention wasn't good behind it. But when you take it for what it is, yes, that's what it's a part of. It's saying you're a part of this group now. You're participating, right?
Like a gang affiliation document.
Hey, yeah. In my pocket, I have a card that says I'm an official member of the United States Hang Gliding and Parasailing Association. I paid a lot of money to have that thing, to say I'm a part of that. Like, and it's not just to say it, but if you're going to be a part of something, if I'm going to take money and spend it, it's going to be on something I'm passionate about. That's what I meant earlier about when people pay something, it's automatically, you know, they've got some kind of passion. Maybe they're just curious, but a big majority of them are going to have passion. Listen, think about it like this. If you spend $50 a year for the next 5 years, you spent $250. Okay. In 5 years, who knows where we're going to be? But I guarantee you, everybody and their mama is going to get their $250 back by then and then some.
Dave, you're being requested in the comments. We'd like to hear from Dave specifically.
I was just going to ask, though, because we're talking about two different things, right? A membership thing that we're sending out right now and a certification later. Those are two separate ideas, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So,
but I think the confusion from people is some people are interpreting this like this participation as a certification and trying to dismiss it and its value, where it's just kind of a confusion of what it really is. I think nobody's trying to say that you're not a good window tinter if you don't have the certification. Like nobody's saying that, and that shouldn't be how it's interpreted. This is a participation trophy. It's a participation certificate along with a shirt and a keychain and whatever else you're going to include throughout the year.
Right. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a member, really. Why would you not want to be a part of helping better the industry and be a part of a group like this, really? And that takes money, right? So, but WFR has been a real positive place for me. I've been doing this a long time, and you get burnout. And, since I've been, I guess it's about a year now, I've been a member. It's just a bunch of positive people, helping each other out, building each other up. It's just a good experience,
Hey, do you guys remember on the Tint Dude forum, you could pay like $5 or $10 a month and get a certain symbol by your name? I'm not really sure if they even mailed out a piece of paper or not, but I don't know what it meant to have the symbol by your name, but I never did it.
It meant you're supporting the group. That's what it is. You're a group supporter.
Okay. That's right.
It's just it. Because you like it. You're getting value out of it. Why wouldn't you want to support it monetarily?
That's right.
Yeah. It's and like as far as like to me, like the way I answer questions is just do it and let the action speak, right? So if you're going to ask me what is WFR doing right now, what does it mean right now? Well, it means that we've got sponsors that are investing in it. But listen, how do you think we pay for all these giveaways that we're doing? We literally have giveaways scheduled from here to the end of the year every week, and then some. We're giving out tanks. Listen, $25-$50. You also get to get involved with giveaways. And I mean, we don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that. That, giving something away, what does that get me in return? What does that get anybody?
It gets people to be in the group. That's what it gets you, because you want to get people's attention and show this is the best group and why you should be a part of it. And by giving things away, you're incentivizing people to want to be a part of it, because who doesn't like to get things? So you can't really say like it's being done for no reason. It's being done for a reason, and it benefits everybody, right? It takes more effort than not doing it, for sure, and it benefits the people who are giving the stuff to the giveaway. It benefits the people receiving it. It benefits the group. It's one of those things that benefits literally everyone in a full circle.
Bingo. And it makes me feel good. I mean, there's nothing like the feeling of giving things away, knowing it just makes the other person feel good, right? That's all everything's about. It's just about helping each other, making you feel good, making Hoss feel good.
In the comments, real quick, in the comments, Tony Robertson said, who certifies this? Who certifies the certifiers? So there are no certifiers yet. That's part of a future plan. So there will be, I guess, a plan to certify the certifiers when time comes. Go ahead.
I've got an answer for that. I'm going to go to hang gliding. The very first people that were doing hang gliding, they were getting killed. They were crashing off the side of stuff, wrecking. Well, the people that lived through all that and really good, nobody had to vote that they were the people that needed to certify somebody, right? Like, they're at the top of the game. Listen, we can recognize each other for who's at the top. and we don't need to certify the certifiers, because whoever we pick, we're all going to have a voice in it. Okay. But that's going to be like, once we get to that point, we will have achieved a whole lot of other things to get there. A whole lot of other things, because it's going to take a lot to get to that point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Jeff Phillips left a comment I want to read. Jeff Phillips from Expel. Congratulations to Expel on all their success. And that wasn't his comment. His comment was, IWFA started as a small group of folks with an idea of uniting and improving the industry. I don't mind investing in a group that can enhance the industry, give us a collective voice, offer group eyes, potentially lead to competitions, gatherings, and certifications. I think that is extremely well said. And like he's saying, potentially lead to. And one of the things that happens with ideas and paths and businesses is you don't actually know where it's going to lead to. You can only predict so far, and nobody can say all the great ideas and opportunities that may come along the way a year or two from now and so on. So the idea is supporting it from the beginning, and it's kind of, I don't want to call it selfless, but not looking at what you get this second and say, I'm supporting something and its future because I'm part of this industry for the long run, right?
Yeah, you're investing
in Revolution Group can do anything the International Window Film Association can do as well. There's nothing, Rick and I were talking. Listen, we're not bashing the group, International Window Film Association. They've done wonderful things for our industry, and I think they're only here to help, and we're here to support. But the group does have some deficiencies, and they also. They can't do everything. They don't have unlimited funding and budget. We look at ourselves as being able to go into this industry and supplement what they're doing. We noticed they were a little weak in automotive, representation. They were more flat glass oriented, and there are a lot of other things we thought they could use some help with. We're just here to help, and we're starting to develop ourselves into a group, or a organization that can offer that, and we're in the infancy of it right now.
Haas Evans, we turn it over to you.
I'm also looking at comments while we're.
That's why I don't allow looking at comments ever on a live stream, because it disengages and it's distracting. But
no. So Mike Powell.
Yes, that's a good one. So I take it back. Thank you for reading that one.
He said this is for a bettering part of the industry only. I've never had a client ask me for a cert. I'm not trying to bash anything or this industry, because the ones that know me know better than that. I hope this group continues to grow, and I hope it continues to help shop. If this goes to an area locator on an amazing client flow, then yes. On a negative note, if we jump in and I get a letter only and nothing else, this isn't an industry helper. Right now, I did this for the tool discount. I hope you can change my mind and thoughts ASAP. So,
well, I think that's what this is about, is throwing that out there. Go ahead.
So, Mike, if you did not know, there is a member locator. To my knowledge, I don't know if Rick has gotten into the point of where, like, if you go to, Google Maps, it automatically shows up on Google Maps. However, I do know that if you go to the website, use the member locator, you can find anybody that's within the website. Rick?
Currently, we have 100 people on that map, and that's without even really pushing this. I mean, it's kind of all been like, backdoor stuff, because I was like, well, maybe we should wait to do a grand opening. And then I was like, let's just start telling people about it. And so it started picking up. But
the member locator, at its face value, nobody's probably searching that quite yet. However, I think being a part of that website's going to continue to get content added to it. It has a member locator. It's clearly very industry specific. For $60 a year to get a link to your website from an industry specific site, that to me is worth it. Now, obviously, that's not where it's going to end, but I do think that to me is one standout value where I go, that's a no-brainer. Second one to me is supporting a group that's working towards bettering things, because while I think everybody in this industry would love to do a lot of things to help the industry. At the end of the day, it's hard to make time. We're all busy and so on. So being able to spend $50 or $60 and that go towards people that are dedicating some time to bettering things in the industry, I think that, again, is a no-brainer at that cost.
Yeah. It's, I'm sorry. I got so many things circling in my head. One of y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I can't believe we're silent here. I would never have guessed with this group there wouldn't be a lot of talking, but that's fine. And I can go through the comments. Go ahead.
Well, like, as far as the money, like where the money goes, Ralph touched on that a little bit earlier. Right now, we're not trying to make money. Here's the deal. If you sit around and wait for somebody else to build something, it's not going to happen. So, I mean, honestly, if you're just like, well, let me sit back and see what happens, that's fine.
Right.
But right now, we want people that say, hey, I want to be part of building this. Okay, to build something, it costs time and money. If I want, like, I'm
building what though? Like, I think that when you say building this,
I'm trying to talk.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Like I'm getting ready to build a house, right? Well, there's a lot of money that I've got to put up front. Like I'm getting ready to purchase some land. That's a lot of money up front. I'm going to be building stuff on it. That's money up front.
I think we all understand the money up front part of it, though.
That's because you're not letting me finish. If I go to I'm going to have money up front invested and where I'm going to live. All I'm simply saying is why would I invest that money? Because I know something's good's coming in return. I'm going to build something because I know I'm going to be able to live in it for years and years.
Okay,
and years.
So can I ask you a question there? You're putting money. We're talking about money up front, which I don't really get why we're questioning. Like, when you put money up front in your example for your house, what are you getting? Why are you buying land? What are you getting with that money up front? You're going to get a future house. Is that right? And future property on there.
Right.
Perfect. So other people are putting money into WFR. What are they going to get? A future fill in the blank. It's like the reason I'm interrupting is because when I ask about WFR and we talk about paragliders, and then I ask about WFR, we talk about building a house, and we need to talk about WFR very specifically because I think everybody gets the higher up. Unity, we've heard, something bigger, bettering the industry, but I think we need to at least hash out what that actually means with action. Because if you tell me, okay, we need to build money, we need some money, because I agree. Any organization, any business, anything that's going to grow needs money. It has to have money. Okay, so I don't really question why you're asking for $50 or $60 a month to be part of it. To me, that seems cheap and it seems obvious. Now, if you tell me, look, for that money, it doesn't even really cover the shirt I'm mailing you, the certificate I'm mailing you, the keychain, and so on. Really, most of the money ends up with that. Then I go, don't send me that. I want you to use my money. I mean, maybe I don't say don't send me that because I do want it to be a part of it. What I'm saying is I think the question, if we're going to talk about where the money's going, is like, what else? What else is the money going to be built? What is the plan? What is the vision with the website and so on? And those specifics, because saying it's going to better the industry, saying I agree with you, but I just want to get those specifics out without using an analogy outside of WFR. Let's talk about this industry right now. If we're talking about IWFA, the most known organization for window film, and we say the IWFA has kind of been lacking lately. They've done a lot for us. We love them. We appreciate them. But right now, we don't really feel a strong presence of them. If the IWFA would only do X, Y, Z, I think it would improve the industry greatly. And that's what we're trying to accomplish with WFR. What is that X, Y, Z? Where are they lacking?
What is it to you?
Go ahead.
You're part of the team, too. You tell me. You answer this question.
Yeah, but I can talk for days, but the reason we have this group on here is because you are leading it, and this group is leading it. So I'm trying to get out of you guys because I don't necessarily have the answers. I'm not necessarily in charge. Like, I can tell you some ways that I can give you suggestions for sure. But I think the question more along the lines is, what are some of the ones that have already been thought of or planned in? And if there's none, then the idea is, well, the plan is we have that money, we organize on a live stream or we organize in a forum or in the group, and we're going to come up with those ideas. We don't know them right now. But I'm looking for that transparency of like, When Ralph says, "Hey, we noticed they're weak in the automotive area," where in the automotive area? Is it lobbying for tint laws in different states? Have they been weak there? What is it? Is it consumer knowledge? What are those things, and how can this money and what can this organization do to start enabling some of those things? That's kind of what I'm trying to get at, because I think when people get a better understanding of that vision and where things are lacking, and just even just a target of where you're heading, they're going to be right there behind you to support it, because it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
I think this is a complex group, and there's a lot of moving parts, and it's in the process of growing. But I think I know what kind of answer might help everybody watching right now. We want to do everything from being able to pay somebody to lobby for us to help our automotive laws, and we also want to have a large group of people that are qualified to help people that come into this group and just ask questions on how to do something, and not have to worry about getting bashed in the head by some arrogant window tinter that shouldn't be on here, and with a group of administrators that help manage all that and anything in between. And we can sit here and fill in the in-betweens like as much as you want, but it's not a group that's in full bloom right now. It's in a stage of growth, and I just think that is the answer to the question right now. And I think there are things in between we could probably draw up that's already been done, and there's some things in between that are in the works. But it takes time. It takes evolution, and I think there's that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
The plan is to get us unified first completely. Like, we can't even agree how to unify yet, but the plan is to unify us, have us on WFR website. Then at that point, once we're unified and focused, then we can focus on getting the end consumer to the website. I don't think, it's going to take time for that anyhow. But once we have, like, let's say we got 1,000, 2,000 members on the website, and then we start forking money into SEO where, like, the end consumer can find it. So the end consumer gets there and says, wow, we got a couple thousand people on this map. I didn't even know this type of stuff existed. What do you mean? Y'all have window tinting competition? Now there's all kind of things. And they'll see a huge network of people getting along. Like the website, when we built it, one of the first things that I said, okay, we got to have pictures of us. We don't want to sell film. Listen, we can all sell film. We want to sell us. We want the end consumer to see that we are a family industry. We're family oriented. We care about each other. We help each other. That's the type of industry we want end consumers
let me pull
but
something
we have to
out
get
of you,
there
Rick.
first. We're not there yet.
Let me pull something out of you. Like right now, I believe the website that you currently have has a forum format in it right now, and that is to be built. That you want to build that up, kind of like the Tint Dude did, because you can actually get Google SEO. Google bots can crawl that, and if you try to go onto Google and search a tint-related term, maybe that would link to that forum, which would have information that would be available to the public. In the actual WFR group, that's usually professional window film installers, and we're not really. We're not trying to put average non-window tinters in that group. But the website is a little more for the public, to educate the public. It's brand new. Have you launched it yet, Rick? Is it available to the public yet, or just a part of it? Or?
The website's open to the public, but right now it is not. It's not end consumer oriented right now, and I did that on purpose because I don't want end consumers showing up until we have our shit together, preferably speaking. I mean, once we're not arguing over what's best for the industry and we just pick something and roll with it and pick something else and keep going, once we all say, hey, if we all get together and build something great for these end consumers to see, that's going to help me at my shop. If somebody comes into my shop and I say, hey, I'm a member of Window Film Revolution, and go check it out. In the future, the website, I would like to have the website have reviews on it where you can ask your customer to go give you a review on WFR. And so,
I understand what you're saying there. I got to just step in with that idea, since we're a community of ideas. I would never in my life send a customer of mine to an organization website of every window tinter in the country. Unless, I don't know the unless. I want to say never because I said never. That's too absolute.
I
But
can take you on never.
in my
You might be.
imagination, like if I'm a 3M dealer, I'm so glad I'm on the 3M dealer locator. I'm so beyond if I was hypothetically. But after the job's done, there's no way I'm going to go, hey, check out the 3M dealer locator and see all the different things on that website that Window Tint has to offer. Like, I just couldn't imagine doing that.
What would you send your customer to go see?
After the job was done, nothing.
What would you send them to see before it?
So before, if there was anywhere that I had reviews about myself, I would definitely want to send them. Anywhere that I stood out, anywhere that added credibility to my business and helped show that I'm a standout business compared to the rest, I would want to send them before the sale and use that as a sales mechanism.
Right. So if you had a gazillion reviews on Google or Yelp or WFR,
so
you'd send them there.
If I had, okay, look, I don't even know. I'm sorry, maybe I interjected it's just that one idea. If I had a gazillion reviews on there, but it's a dealer locator for window tinters, I don't think I'm sending them there. Like something like Yelp, if I'm standing out as a Yelp, what are there another 8 companies around there, and maybe they don't have great reviews. But like, I just don't really think that. It doesn't matter. I think, like you said, people are going to stumble across it. They're going to find a credible website that they can trust. They're going to read through it. They're going to find credible tint shop owners. They're going to be able to make a more informed decision that could lead to the tint industry getting more informed customers, more awareness of flat glass film. I mean, which is, a tiny percent of homes actually get, and homes and businesses actually get window film. I'm not trying to in any way doubt the benefit of the website, because I think it's a great idea, and I think that I would support this one. And if there was 10 other people saying they're going to do the same thing, I'd want to support all 10 of them, because I think anybody taking their time to work towards improving the industry is worth supporting in an industry that we all spend our whole lives in.
Yeah. Well, I know earlier you asked what we plan for in the future, and like I said, the ultimate goal is to get to a certification. And that'll be like the last thing that happens, because it's just going to wind up being last. Now, as far as getting there and not knowing whether or not we're going to get there, no, I know we're going to get there. It's just a matter of how long it takes. Just like, a few years ago, we planned on making WFR what it is today. And we predicted exactly what's happening today several years ago. You can ask Ralph whenever Boyd comes on. Listen, me, Ralph, and Boyd have had conversation years back talking about exactly how WFR was going to turn into exactly what it is now. And I know without a doubt in the future, it's going to turn into whatever we want it to turn into. And that's the whole point. We don't have to have one, one idea is okay, but we can have several great ideas. Great idea. Let's write them down. The ones that work immediately, let's put them into action, but we got to get together first. I mean, Facebook's cool. A lot of other social media outlets are cool, and it's got us together, but nobody agrees on nothing, and just like you said, if
what do you mean by that?
People,
because I'm confused, honestly. Like I think you've built an incredible Facebook group, beyond incredible, the best Facebook group. I mean, I say be a part of all of them, but there's not a more active one with well moderated and so on. So all the credit there. I don't understand the movement towards. I get the value in the website. I don't necessarily understand the forum part of it. I do understand SEO aspect of a forum. I think if you're talking about, I love that you're saying, hey, look, first step is we need to get together. I love that. And I agree. First step is get together. First step is organize. I love it. And because I think it's important to recognize that that's where we're at. So if you can't even organize, if you can't even be part of that voice, then but the question, I guess, is Facebook to me is the absolute best place for that. Everybody's there. You've already organized there. Why think you need to organize anywhere else? You have a group, you have a moderator group. What else? Where else do you need to talk to everybody?
Because we didn't build Facebook. Neither me nor you nor anybody on the screen built Facebook. It's not ours.
Well, you didn't build the city either, but you populate it.
Right. And listen, Facebook, if their rules change and they decide they don't like what we're doing, guess what? We're shut down. Everything we built's gone. It's a backup plan as far as that goes. Um, but ultimately, to build the website is to get end consumers to find it and find you. In the meantime, it's for us to say, okay, let's build this thing, put it together, and just put good ideas out and question each other just like we're doing right now. And it's not always a comfortable conversation because we all have different ideas, and some of us place, certain ideas higher on the priority list than others. And we need to figure all that out. And thanks to people like you, thanks to all of us, we're actually having that conversation now. Like for the first 15 years of my career, I didn't talk with very many other tinters because, hey, I'm not going to let no other tinter know nothing about me and give them a possible edge. Just like you said, I'm not going to send nobody to this website because there's other tinters there. Well, I think we got to get past that. I think we got to be like, hey, I send people to my competition all the time. And not just because I don't want to do the work. I mean,
it is. Why else?
What's that?
Why else do you send them other than you don't want to do the work? Is there anybody you want to do the work and you're like, check out my competition too?
When I'm too busy to get to something and somebody says, hey, is there somebody else around here that you would use? I said, well, if I didn't tint windows, the only other person I would use is such and such. But I know I'm sending that customer to somebody who's going to take care of them. So if they don't come back, they don't come back. It still helped him. If he does that for me later, who cares? It's all about helping each other instead of trying to keep all, it's like being on a playground and the kid's got a sandbox and a bucket over in the sandbox and he won't share. He just wants all the sand. And well, you can have all the shit to yourself, but we're going to leave you alone. We can all go out and say, listen, WFR can shut down tomorrow. I'm still going to tint windows and make money, just like the rest of you. WFR doesn't have to be here. Nothing has to be here. It's about who's committed to make something bigger. That's all it's about. I don't have all the answers. I just know that we're heading in a good direction. I don't have all the answers, but I know where we're heading is bigger and brighter than anything this industry's ever seen before. If people want to get in and help build it, that's all I know. I can easily see us being the biggest thing out there, period. Bigger than anything in the industry. But it's going to take us getting together and do it. So just like you said, it takes money, it takes time, it takes volume. You can rest assured I'm not going to quit working at it. I haven't stopped. I've been overtime. I appreciate you saying I'm the leader and my little happy ass. I don't know about leading, but I'm going to continue busting my ass, to do anything I can to improve this industry, because it's not even about WFR. It could have been called something else. It doesn't matter. We just need the spot for all of us to get together, be a family, and do family things. Like Hoss Evans, you know why he's here? Because several years ago, I had an issue where I was trying to build a tool to help me bottom load. And out of the blue, he's like, hey, man, I got this badass material, that they used to make police holsters with, gun holsters. And all I'm saying is there's no amount of money I can invest into anything that's going to pay for the relationships I built with all of y'all. And the relationships that we build, let's continue building it. We've got great relationships. Now let's build something we can all be proud of. We can sit back and say, you know what? I didn't just sit back and watch all these other people do that.
Yeah.
I got my ass in there and helped.
Yeah.
Like that, I want people to own WFR. This is yours. This ain't just Rick Tallman. This is everybody. It is yours. That's why we're building it.
So,
I fell in love with this industry.
Rob Orange just left a comment that I think really hits the nail on the head, along with the lines of what you're saying as well. Rob Orange said, it seems like you guys are trying to start a trade group of some sort. These organizations can do great things. Look at the groups like the Signage and Graphics Industries Trade Group and hold on.
What they do for their industry, everything starts somewhere. The company I work for looks to support such trade groups on many levels. There are plenty of other companies like us out there that would jump in because a good group can elevate an industry and grow the consumer market for its members. And that is our exact goal, Rob, to elevate this industry and grow the consumer market for us.
Cool.
That's it.
And the answer to how
if
is...
you want to put it in words, that's it.
The answer to how is as a group, right?
Yeah, as a group.
Come together as one.
Yeah. I mean, it's been flowing and it's going to keep flowing.
Dave?
I was just going to say the part about getting together. I think that makes a difference when you go to these, the IWFA thing and the WFR competition, if we get one or when we get one. Uh, Getting to meet all these guys face to face and hang out with them, it's just different than typing in Facebook. It brings us, when you know somebody, I don't know, it's almost like they carry more credibility with you now, right? It's not just some stranger typing away, like him, he's good judgment or what, a good character, all those types of things after getting to meet them and just be around them for a while. So going to those things is important, and hopefully we do get the WFR one off the ground. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cody Becker left a comment. He said, does this mean we can raise our prices together? So here's the thing. While I'm not even going to
Means we don't need to talk about that publicly.
Right. Like I'm not even going to let's forget whatever falls into price fixing, but let's just talk about real quick this group and all the groups on Facebook. In my opinion, because of the shared knowledge of like heat boxes and of the value of using a premium film and the real opportunity that exists no matter what city you're in, whether it's a small town or a large city, whether you have tons of tint shops or you're the only one, I think that has elevated the price of window film. I think it's enabled companies to charge what it's worth as opposed to it being just a race to the bottom. There's always going to be those shops out there, but I think the more people are aware of those techniques and the value and how to run that business that way, I think it does naturally raise the prices and better everybody's scenario.
I think the prices are a byproduct of value. In a group like this, you can raise the value of your product, and then the value will equal higher prices. This is not a collusion group; it's a value group. And a lot of people that are looking to get their car tinted today or tomorrow or whatever, they want to treat our industry and the products of our industry like we're selling a commodity, like coffee or rice or gas. And when people think they're buying a commodity, they want to know where they can get it the quickest and the cheapest place. They'll see who can do it the cheapest and quickest. But, there are people out there that are looking for coffee at Kroger on aisle 6, and they'll pay whatever Maxwell House is that day or whatever the other brands are, Folger. But there are customers out there that really mean to buy like a cup of Starbucks. They're looking for a $6 cup of coffee. Sometimes people who don't understand our industry and they think our product is like a commodity, they need to be educated. And when they are, they could be a value shopper rather than a price shopper, and they would be willing to pay more for something when they see the value. That's what this group's going to do. It's bringing the word out into where it needs to be to help our industry as a whole, not have to be in the price war and the race to zero, by just educating more and more people and making people aware of what we have to offer. That's what we're doing. I mean, that's one positive about a large group working together, to try to solve our problems. Everybody has this problem in this group. So that's just another 2 cents I thought I would throw in.
I think that's well said. Adding value. I think a lot of people have learned how to add value through different film offerings, how to add it through better customer service and through, a better experience, and that elevates prices. So, and profit margins and so on. You have to learn how to do that. And Ismail said, how is the group going to control prices? It can't control prices. I think the day and age we live in with the internet, price controlling is kind of, for the most part, not realistic in something like this, even if you tried to attempt to make it happen. Like it's a world where we can price shop everything pretty quickly. So you have to, like Ralph said, add value and set yourself apart that way.
Oh, and speaking of the website, we do have a forum. And here's the deal, like just this is me personally speaking. If I'm on a forum discussing stuff, there's a possible chance I may discuss more than I normally do. Like take for example, I've been watching, I've been on Facebook for a while now and in these groups for a while. And you want to know the one thing you don't hear too many window tinters talk about? Like, it's like I'm not going to say it's taboo, but almost nobody talks about it. Is marketing. How do you get people in your door? Nobody wants to talk about that.
I don't think that's true that nobody wants to talk about it. I'll tell you specifically what has kept me from talking about it.
There's people that do.
There's plenty of people that
in
do.
General.
I think there's plenty of people that do. And I think what gets a little bit annoying in the groups is like, if somebody goes in there and says, hey, does Home Advisor work? You're going to get people who are like, no, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. No. And if you're like, yeah, it works good for me, people are like, no, it's garbage. Don't use it. And like, I just think like you're going to see people who know how to do it and people who don't know how to do it. So because of that, eventually it becomes exhausting. Also, it's a simple fact that if you're good at marketing, you're very likely to be extremely busy, which is going to reduce your chances. If you're bad at marketing, you're going to have more time to talk about how it doesn't work.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That's an excellent point.
My company builds websites for our customers, and if they qualify, we don't even charge them. And
nice little plug there. That's Flex Film if you want to get a free website.
Now, hold on. I'm not trying to do a
I'm just
plug in. Just hear me out.
I'm just
I come up with a lot of good ideas, okay, and I have a lot of bad ones. And sometimes I don't really fit. The ones I think are good are going to be bad, and the ones I think that are bad are going to be good. The good one is a plotter idea I got right now. That's another story. The bad one was the website. Total flop. I mean, I'm going to build you a free website, and I'm going to bring this to your attention as a window film, installer with a business, and you don't even have a website, or the one you have looks like an electronic brochure. Let me build you a really nice, full functioning website. We'll take care of the tab. We'll host it. We'll do everything. Can't get these guys interested. So, why do window tinters have a, lack in marketing? That it doesn't make any sense to me. We can help them market. We can help them with a website, and we offer these services. And it's just been a complete backfire flop in my face. And I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. There have been some takers out there, people that we've helped, and they had the right mindset, and it's helped them flourish. But they represent the minority out there. So I don't understand why window film installers aren't as heavy on marketing as they should be.
I think I think it's becoming more and more.
I don't want to change the topic here, but just
people are becoming more and more aware of how marketing drives the business and the opportunity that can come from growing your business with good marketing. So I think it's only becoming more and more out there. And I do want to read a comment that stands out, which is by Ed. He said, sorry, I don't know the name of the dude in the center on the bottom. He's one badass motherfucker because he's keeping his mouth shut. So that's Dave. And compliments to you, Dave, for keeping your mouth shut, I guess. So let me get your opinion on this, Dave. Cody said WFR should be focusing on the continued education of the industry, reaching out to trade and technical schools to educate the kids about our industry so we can in turn get more employees and interns. One of the biggest complaints in this industry is not how to market, it's how to get higher tinters. So, I mean, I think that's a good fit, right?
That's definitely, we've got to do something because we don't have anybody coming in the pipeline. But part of going out there and recruiting these people is going to be a certain amount of getting our stuff together first as well. Because there's a lot of topics that we're just not unified on, and maybe we never will be. That's okay as long as we can cut out at least in front of the public, all the disagreement about, silly stuff, bottom loading, top loading, two-stage, how you shrink the film. If we keep that out of there and all the disagreements and just kind of present it in a positive light, I think that's going to help recruit people on its own. But then reaching out to trade schools obviously is a good idea to get young people involved. But there's a lot of people. I've probably only trained 2 people, and it wasn't from the ground up. There's a lot of really good trainers out there too that and schools and places to learn. I mean, I'm sure Ralph probably has trained a ton of people as well. I've met several tinters that pretty much learned how to tint off of his YouTube videos. So but I think us getting together and agreeing that we need to put maybe a more positive light out front and just agree on a few minor things. That way we attract more useful people to the industry, right?
And that's part of the unity, in my opinion, that you're talking about, Dave, is everybody getting together and quit bashing that guy and quit bashing that guy. Like, let's come together.
Right.
One
We've all
team,
got
one
a little
side.
bit different style of doing things. None of it's necessarily right or wrong. It's just how we're comfortable doing it. And so it doesn't have to be like a black and white type of line there on how you do an install and things like that. It's just the way that some guys do their installs, right? If the customer's happy in the end and the work is good, then, but, I mean, that's the way I feel about it anyway. But I think we've got to at least get that to the point where we can agree that we should leave that out of certain areas and start recruiting some younger people. That's for sure, because we need help. Everybody needs help right now, I believe. I think I see posts on shops hiring. I mean, every part of the country.
Yep.
I'm teaching my two sons how to tint right now. 19 and 17.
So how did they get to that age without learning how to tint? How is it not something like they were like 7?
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure that out because I had no YouTube. Nobody would talk to me. I finally found out where to get a roll of film and some tools, and I was under the oak tree on the side of the street getting my grandma to hold the tint for me. I mean, I was desperate. I don't see that in these kids today, man. They have all these resources even that we didn't have. And, you can go on YouTube and get all the information. I couldn't get that. It just wasn't available. It was all tight-lipped, and it was a struggle. I don't know, man. I think about what my kids have. I've got a facility. I've got a training facility. I've got unlimited film tools, my knowledge. I mean, and I couldn't get them interested in it until recently. So I don't know. And they're still, I don't know. I wish they would be a little more interested than they are now, but I think that'll come in time. I think they're just getting older and, they have a need for money and that's helping them, become more interested because they're learning that they can go trade time for $1 and it's hard work and they don't get a lot of money and they can tint a window or two and bam, they got all the money they need to go out, with a hot date, that night and didn't take them that long to make it. So there's a lot of motivation from that perspective. Crickets.
Crickets.
No,
I'm watching one
off
screen
the topic.
on my left and watching this one at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't want to get off the topic, with the side stuff, but who cares? I mean, I just thought I'd throw that in. Young people, man, that's it. I think that's a good, Dave. That's a good idea. It's just, man, it's young people aren't. I don't want to be that old guy with the gray hair that says, it's not like it used to be. But it's not. It's different, and it needs to be different because there's more technology, there's more resources, there's plotters, there's all kind of things going on now. We could shrink windows, in one piece, but we couldn't back in the day. So it is different, but I'm embracing different, and I just I think with all these resources and knowledge, I don't know why we don't have more people stepping up and learning the trade. It doesn't make any sense.
That's actually big. Like earlier, it was mentioned training. It's hard to get people trained. And, hey, we got enough people. Why don't we think about ways to take care of that? I mean, I've had stuff going around in my head, but I'm not even going to get into that because I can't fully explain it. But I know that, like earlier, just getting window tinters to come work. Like I've tried all summer to get a window tinter to come. And like I had one yesterday he was supposed to come in Tuesday and show up at 9:00. He doesn't show up. And then he messaged me like middle of the day, hey, man, sorry I didn't make it this morning. I can be there tomorrow morning, though. I'm like, no,
I know.
Man.
There's like a billion people out there, so it's not even worth talking about the one that just fucked off. Like, that's a matter of, like, maybe you could have recognized it, maybe you couldn't. On to the next one. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But the point is we do need to figure out some way to train people better because most people that are in the window film industry learned on their own. Most of them didn't go get trained anywhere. Most of them learned on their own. That's the reason we have so many different techniques. I mean, that's the reason you'll see somebody that you don't even come close to, do something that you don't even come close to doing. You're like scratching your head. Who knows why? Because they learned on their own. Like some people watch me do something and say, why in the hell is he doing that? I learned on my own.
I want to tell you something that I'm going to continue to do, and I'm going to use this group platform to do it. And it falls into some questions that, you asked earlier about what's this group going to do for, for our community. And if you really want to, I'm just going to be blunt about this and lay it on the table. And I'm probably going to hurt somebody's feelings, but I don't care. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings, though. If you really think about it, I could make a video right now, or I could turn the computer and I could go tint a car in my bay. I could show anybody how to top load, bottom load. We could talk about shaving. That's kind of what's happening in our industry. And that's what our quote unquote professionals are getting good at doing, that, putting plastic on glass. But, I would challenge anybody out there who thinks they're professional to explain to me how ceramic window film works. How does it work and what does it do? I don't think anybody can answer that question. And it's sad because they're selling it every day, and they hit and miss it, maybe what it does, or they've learned some marketing hype or buzz, but there's a starving amount of knowledge.
Ralph, let me ask you this. I agree with you, and Rob Oranges looks like he kind of agrees with you. I'm going to read his comment in a second, but I want to ask you, when you say like it's sad that people don't know that information, I think I don't necessarily need to know it inherently, but is it on a website somewhere? Can I go to flexfilm.com and read the answer that would, if I read it back to you, you'd go
to my YouTube channel and I'll blow it up.
Beautiful.
If you just watch every one of my videos, you'd be more than anybody else.
It exists in your YouTube video. Well, I think one of the things that when we talk about the WFR website, like one of the things straight up is like, this, what are definitions behind terms? What are industry related definitions that people can understand both as a tinter and they can understand as a consumer, so that you can, and like, where do you go for that sort of thing? You find bits and pieces on different people's websites. There isn't one super credible source. Maybe IWFA.
Let me tell you something, Eric. There's a problem with what information I want to share as being ethical potentially, and I'm going to use a parallel industry to explain myself. I know I'm going way over here to make this point. I don't know if you've ever heard of a company called Smuckers. They make some good jelly. I like their grape jelly. They also make peanut butter. Okay, they make Jif peanut butter. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. If you want to get some peanut butter, and call Smuckers and tell them you want to buy the minimum order quantities, and you want a picture of Hoss on the front. You want to call it Hoss peanut butter, and you want it to be extra crunchy, and you want it to be just like the Jif formula. Well, Kroger did the same thing. They called up and said, we want to, we're grocery distributors. We want to put a Kroger brand peanut butter and back it up and put it next to Jif and sell it to people all day long. And it's even a better price, but it's the same stupid peanut butter that's in the Jif. Well, I'm the kind of guy in the window film industry. Marketing doesn't work with me. You can't throw your marketing around and make your box look this way or say that or this. I don't care. I'm not following that. I'm going to look at what's in the box. I want to know where it's made, how it's made, what components are in it, who's involved with laminating it. I mean, I want to know everything, and I'm going to judge what's in that box. Not many people do that. Now, I'm a unique individual in our industry that will do that. But I'm no different than anybody I'm concerned about in our industry, because if you take me out of our industry and you put me in another industry, I happen to know a little bit about the peanut butter because I researched it, but there are other things in the grocery store that I probably don't understand, and what brand is what. And if I don't know something, guess what I do? I rely on marketing. And that's what causes me to buy something over another when I don't know anything about it. But if I'm going to wake up every day and I'm going to call myself a professional and I'm going to put tint on cars every day, damn it, I'm going to learn more about this industry and what I'm putting on cars instead of it being like a marketing mystery to me. And I'm going to just go follow the marketing, and that's how I'm going to make my decisions to put film on somebody's car. I don't get it. Why don't people go a little further in their own trade to figure out what the hell they're putting on people's cars? I don't understand it. Please advise.
Because it's not necessarily super important, because like you said, nobody probably can understand it in a way that you feel is adequate, but at the same time, the industry is rolling and people are making plenty of money. They're booked out and so on. So I think there's a lack of its availability. You said it's on your YouTube channel. It might be on some websites, but I don't think there's a clear place to access definitions that people can read and trust. But I also don't know that people feel that it's super valuable to know the extrusion method of their film because they're doing okay without it.
Okay, what if you sold a ceramic film that didn't work?
Well, that's a
and
problem.
There's one out there that does work.
That's a problem, and that's where people getting
together.
Tell
the customer that it's working.
So check this out. If I'm a new tinter, if I'm a new tinter and I'm going to go, what film should I use? That seems like something that everybody asks on a daily basis. What film should I use? Now, one resource would be in the Window Film magazine. There's a manufacturer's list in the back, and you could go through there and you could see probably the most comprehensive list of manufacturers available.
Can I say something without being disrespectful? I don't care what that list says. Let me tell you what I care about. You want to know what film to use? You want to know what film to use? Let me ask you what you're trying to do. Okay.
Hold on. Follow me. Follow where I'm going, though. Okay. Follow where I'm going. I'm just simply saying a lot of why it's not happening and like why these questions, because there's no place that you can go and go, let me see a list of all the films. Because let me ask you this: is Flex Film on the list in the Window Film magazine?
No, because they haven't given
perfect. So we got a film brand that's made a huge impact in the market, whether you carry it or not, whether you like it or not. It's definitely made a huge impact, has a huge presence on YouTube. It's responsible for a lot of consumers purchasing film and a lot of tinters becoming tinters. And it's not in that list. So then I say, well, show me a better list of all the films. Where is it?
Well, by the way, their names aren't on our list either. They haven't given us any money, so their name's not on our list.
I understand what you're saying, but listen to what I'm saying is where is the list of I'm a new tinter, I want to get in the industry, I want to make an informed decision. I don't want to be that jackass that installs a film that doesn't work, like you just said.
I have two questions
How
for
do
you,
I
sir.
do my research right now on what film to carry?
I have two questions for you, sir.
Yes.
Are you going to buy a film based on how it shrinks?
I don't even know because I'm not I'm just getting into tint. I don't even know at that point.
Or do you want to buy it based on how it performs?
No, what I'm simply saying is I'm John, future tinter, and I'm sitting in my house and I'm going to go, what film do I carry? I can go to AutoZone. I see they have a film. That can't be what works. I've heard of 3M. I've heard of Lumar. I wonder what else is out there because those guys won't sell to me. Where do I get a list of tint? Rick, go ahead.
You don't get a list of tint. We make it. We make the list of tint. If you want it, let's make it. Listen, when I first started,
that's what I'm trying to get at. Is this is an opportunity for the website? That's the whole point. Is what I'm saying is like when Ralph says, "Why aren't people educated?" and then he says, "Well, the reason you need to be educated is because you don't install a film that's not going to work." I simply say, it doesn't. That's an opportunity for Window Film Revolution because right now that list doesn't exist. That explanation, why don't I want, how many times a day do you see or a week do you see a post that says, I'm moving on from Lexan window film, what should I move to? It seems like Lexan hits a lot of brand new tinters and then they quickly realize they want to move on to something better. Where can I read about that and maybe skip a step or know the steps I should take? And this is opportunity for the website. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely do it. I mean, we're close to that already, just with us talking. So now that we know that, see, this is what I was getting at. Us talking just led to a good result. Now we're going to put a list of every freaking window film company we can think of and make it the most comprehensive list.
So I want to read some comments real quick. Rob Warren just said, rather than putting energy into creating a competition, put your resources into establishing industry standards, training, best practices, recruitment, and training of new employees, a barrier to entry into this industry. A lot of companies are trying to grow and they need qualified help. Your group could be training and placement service for its members. Certainly a uniformed way to hire. Where are the best places to put an ad? What should the ad say? What kind of questions should you ask when you're hiring? That sort of stuff. Everybody knows a little bit of it. Some people are better than others, but having that, I think, would definitely make a huge impact to the industry.
Hold on, time out. What would make a huge impact? Just make it simplified. What now?
Having some sort of onboarding method. Where are the best places to hire people? What is the best type of ad to, like, what should the ad say? What are benefits that people are offering that's helping retain employees? Should you look for a trained person versus a brand new person to train? What are the pros and cons, since there's not a right or wrong? Putting that information out there, I think, is going to alleviate barriers for tint shops that you know, that's in their way, and they never maybe get past that.
I think if each of us, each of us have a passion for something, right? Like Hoss, I haven't seen what it is yet, but he's just kicking ass. Dave, his passion, I don't know if his passion is working on high-end vehicles, but we all, like Ralph has got the film, like we all bring something to the table. And so, like, we can't think of everything, but each of us can think of one thing, just one thing that you're real passionate about, and let's see what we can do with that. Like, I mean, we can talk about a million different things, but just write one thing down that you really want to see the most out of anything, and let's work from there. Like, I get mentally messed up because I try to go too far ahead, so I have to just take one step at a time, and that's been successful pretty far. But the point I'm getting at is WFR, the website. Okay, the website can literally be made into anything we want it to be made into. It has a form. We can put categories. Where do you find all these different film companies, just like you said? Anything you can think of in the industry, we can categorize it, make it easy for people to find, and boom, there it is. Like, literally anything we say on this conversation right now, we can put into effect and make an action out of what we're thinking. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain to people what we're doing, but it's a lot easier just to do it and they see what you're doing. And then you don't have to explain. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Everybody, I just love all of y'all, to be quite honest. It's like, I wish we were all together, man. I miss my boy Dave.
Yes,
I miss freaking Hoss. I miss you, Erik. Ralph, I don't miss you too much. I get to see you all the time, but it's like, last time I seen Hoss was at Jeff Welch's place. Last time I seen Dave was at the Dellinger conference, and we had a blast. And I don't think we need to worry so much about what our next step is. I think we need to worry about each other, and the next step's going to come naturally. Like, we know we're going to build some badass, awesome shit. In the meantime, let's just love and care about each other. I don't know.
No, I think getting together, though, it is important. That it's just easier to bounce ideas off of and get a feel for what other people want or what they think that we should do, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot easier in person. So the more times there's events to go to, things like that, it's a good idea to try to go if you want to be a part of that stuff. But the certification thing too, because he brought up industry standards, and that's definitely something that needs to be. I feel like it's gotten better recently, but that could be part of helping that out too, with certifying tinters and things like that. I don't think anybody would argue that if Ralph or Rick were to watch someone tint by however they decide to grade it or whatever it may be, I don't think anybody's going to argue with the fact that if they say this guy can tint when he's done, that he can, right? I don't think it has to be that complicated of a process, I guess you'd say. If you've got people that know window tint and have been around it long enough, take it. And like I said, these guys, I don't know how they're going to test them or whatever, but I don't think anybody would argue with the fact that if they said somebody could do this well, that they can, right?
I definitely, Dave, you and me have talked about this before. Now, this competition and certification, like Erik's always asking for clear-cut, concise stuff. I can be very clear-cut and concise on that, because we've already got the competition format down. The competition format, ideally, we would also like that to be the certification format. So imagine this, if you will. You go to the WFR competition, and we pick, just like Dave said, we pick out some guys to be judges, right, that we know is competent, that we know they know what they're looking at. We go to the competition. You get a score. Now, out of that, whoever the best people are at that competition, we're going to look at their scores and say, okay, the best people out here, this is the range of where they're scoring at. So after the competition, we can turn around and let's say we got Dave in San Antonio. We can have a network of tinters across every state, the country, wherever, but we can have a network, and then they go by the exact same format as the competition. That way, everybody's judged exactly the same at the competition, and you're judged exactly the same when you go to Dave's shop. Dave is going to look at the paper. He's going to judge you just like a judge would. When you get judged like that, first off, you've got to go to Dave's shop to get certified. You can't just send in money to WFR and get a certification for your skill level. No, you have to physically go to Dave's shop. He has to watch you. He's going to give you 20 minutes to tint one window. If you pass that, you get to the next one. It's going to be just like the competition. And whatever you score is what you score. You don't get another score, for let's say 6 months or a year. I mean, you got to stick with it. If you want a better score, get better. Okay, that's one way that we can raise our industry standards is, listen, if Dave has a certification and his score is a 98, and I go get certified that year and mine pops off as a 94, I'm like, damn it, Dave, I got to get better, man. I got to get better than you. It makes you want to get better. And let's say you've never been to a competition, you don't know what to expect. You can go see Dave, get tested. You know exactly what to expect at the competition. So let's say you score really good at Dave's shop, and he says, man, you did really good. You can be confident that you can go to that competition and be able to do really good there. It'll take a lot of the nervousness out of it. But the competition and the certification, in my eyes, will be closely related. The first competition that RCL, that WFR has, will be the basis of how we do the certifications. I've thought a lot about the end process. Now, how to get there, I don't think a lot about. I just look in that direction and walk that way. If something's in the way, I'll walk around it, go through it, or go over it, right? Or blow it up and get out of my way. But I got to get over there. So my focus is on that competition and the certification. Everything between now and getting to there, I'm just doing, whatever we have to do to get to that point. And what we have to do to get to that point is have a lot of freaking a lot of members on the same page, as to what we're trying to do, where we're trying to go. I think we can have that done. We can have the competition and the certification process within the next 2 to 3 years. It could be even earlier than that, depending on how many people get on board. I'm not in a hurry. This is just like Erik said, he's in this for the long term. I'm in it for the long term. I don't have to watch any of this happen overnight, but I do have to watch it happen, and it's going to happen. There's enough of us now. We have a culture now that didn't used to exist in this industry, and that's thanks to social media. I mean, we are the network. Anything we want to do in this industry, we can do it. If you have a problem with the industry, open your mouth and say something. Just like if you pay to get on WFR, you're on the forum. Listen, on the forum, nobody can see what you're saying unless they pay to be there. I mean, bottom line. So if anybody's there talking with you, you can look side by side, shoulder to shoulder. That guy's invested. So you might say a little bit more than you would.
You're still on. We're all still on. Sorry, we cut out there, but I think we just rejoined the same video. So I want to read a comment that I can no longer read, but basically it's somewhere in this chat. And it's from Rob Oranges, and basically he was saying an apprentice program. And somebody else had mentioned Austin from the Tinstitute. And if you follow Austin and the Tinstitute, they do training. They're one of, I'm sure there's other facilities that do training. But point being is, based off what Rick just said and what in the comments Rob Orange just said, as well as Patrick, like the idea being like there can be potentially different window film revolution certified shops, training facilities where if somebody wants to learn how to tint, they can find the closest one to them. They can go there, they can learn how to tint. And, I guess what I'm getting at is if you take somebody like Austin, like it's pretty clear he knows how to teach somebody to tint. There's a lot of people out there that they know how to teach somebody to tint. And if you put that in more of a structured format, what do you teach in what order? What skills do they need to know and so on? That can be that apprenticeship, that network that leads to more people getting into the trade, finding more staff and so on.
Well, I'll say I saw there was a comment by Alex and he was
So There seems to be an internet issue. I want to cut you out. There seems to be kind of, I don't know where it's coming from, but we've kind of lost a solid connection. So this might be a good place to wrap this up, just because I don't even know if I'm coming across very clearly right now. But Haas, you weren't coming across clearly to me. So
it is pretty glitchy.
I actually heard everything Kyle said.
Yeah, so this might be a good place to wrap it up. I hope that I can be heard at least, so we can have a proper outro. But basically, the plan is we'll be back next Thursday with, we're going to be doing this for a few Thursdays with different core group leader members of the window film revolution. And I think what the big takeaway from today's live stream is, it's not about Rick's idea or Ralph's idea or Dave's idea or Haas's idea or my idea. It's about the ideas that can be thought of, that have been thought of, and can, that we can all come up with as a group. The idea being, first, need to come together as a group and work together. So, bring those ideas, and we'll be back next Thursday to keep this going.
All right, guys. That's fun.
So, thank you for you guys for doing this. Obviously, Rick had to vacate temporarily, so we'll thank Rick, and then Haas, Dave, Ralph. Thanks for doing this, and thanks for taking the time. Okay. And thanks for everybody for watching. And we'll be back next Thursday for another Window Film Revolution Roundtable. Have a great night, everyone.